All right, warmly welcome to AIT Digital and second AI Monday. The voice is a bit breaking. If you can lower it down a bit, or shall I move the microphone a bit further away? Can you hear us? Okay. So, a few practical things. We are having today actually 3 presentations here. First one will be held by Tuomas Ropponen, and that's the AI demo. We will be seeing something fantastic which some of us who were in Slush a week ago saw there. So welcome Tuomas. But after that we will have then kind of the main speakers, and we will have Ari Lampela, Google Cloud, and knows also much of AI. So Ari will have his 9 minutes then in a moment. And following Ari, we have Meri Haataja somewhere here. Merika is a director in Osuuspankki, and I'm fascinated to hear how artificial intelligence might be driving or changing the banking or industry in general. So let's see what the story there is. But maybe I will let Marko Turpeen, the doctor and head of this EIT Digital Unit, to say a few words to the beginning, and then I'll continue after that.
Well, thanks, Petri, and also from my behalf, warmly welcome to the second AI Monday. So, as last time, so the idea is that we want to bring together people interested in artificial intelligence in Finland to talk to each other, share your knowledge, share practices, and try to be as concrete as possible. What is AI today? Where is it going? And what does it mean for all of us? So that's why this whole series was started. So EIT Digital is very proud to have you here. EIT stands for European Institute of Innovation and Technology. I'm in charge of the Finnish side of EIT Digital. And we have education programs, so fantastic students going through masters and doctoral and professional training. If you're looking for recruits, that's a very great resource for talent. And then we have innovation and acceleration programs where we especially focus on putting things out from research to the market and helping the innovations actually to grow in Europe. So one thing that I wanted to say in connection with the latter one is that not today, but actually on Wednesday, and here some of my background also is linked, because I've been in Helsinki Institute for Information Technology. So there's going to be an opening of a new center, Finnish Center for AI. And I don't know that there has been such a thing before in Finland. So it's a major endeavor by University of Helsinki and Aalto University to put let's say, the academic side of AI more on the map, but very closely working also with industry. So just, there's going to be an AI day on Wednesday, and then follow-ups next year. Also in this event, we will very much like to warmly welcome then the Finnish Center of AI to be present. But now let's move forward.
Thank you, Marko. A couple of practical things. We are having #AI Monday here to be used in Twitter, and it's a special day, Wednesday this week. Do you know what it is? Yes, it is the Star Wars Episode 8 premiere. So the game is today. We have a special game. So the best questions or comments in Twitter with #AI Monday will receive free seats there. So if I think who we are here today, so Marko is representing EIT Digital, and then this broadcasting is sponsored and done by Tekniikka and Talous. So I'm Petri Malmelin, and I'm coming from a company called Taival. So we in Taival have booked a whole 144 seats from the premiere. So we have given most of the tickets out already, but #AI Monday, and let's see who has good solid comments there. Second point, which we are doing slightly differently this time compared to the first time, several of you came to me just before the session and asked really good questions. That, Petri, do you know who has this capability, or where could I find that type of thing? So after the presentations, we will have the microphone. You can come up here and have very short, let's say half a minute, maximum 1 minute, messages to be shared, because this is networking event. Rules clear? So Twitter, #AI Monday. you can use it even though you don't want to come to the movie. And then at the end, those of you who want to share messages to this community, I'll pass the microphone. But Tuomas, is your microphone on?
Should be.
Is it? I'll stay with this microphone here on the parallel.
It's saying that it. Does anybody hear?
No, it's okay. So, Tuomas Ropponen and really exciting demo of AI. What can be done in the medical industry with crunching big amounts of data in a new way. Floor is yours for the next 9 or so minutes.
9. Okay. Thanks for everybody coming here. So quickly, what we are doing is basically same techniques that are used for facial recognition or self-driving cars. We are using for cancer research, cancer diagnostics. And what that means that our images are biopsies, so microscopic images. And currently, so the problem is that, of course, people are getting older and there's more and more cancer. What that means that the current number of pathologists that are diagnosing the cancer is not increasing compared to samples. And 99% of the diagnosis is currently manually done by microscopic, so physical microscope, no digital. So our product is basically enabling tool for digital microscopic and analysis. And if you know something about microscopic world, those are the physical glass slides that are diagnostic. And our problem, one of the problem is that the size of the images is huge. It's comparable to European satellite map, one sample of example breast cancer. So gigabytes to terabytes, one image. And so our product is basically a cloud platform that currently is used mainly Finnish medical education and medical research in Europe, US, and in Arabia. And what we have bring basically to AI. And what the AI means in our world is image analysis. And I will show a couple of demos. So from the PowerPoint, sorry, not PowerPoint. So what you are basically seeing is a browser-based system to analyze, manage, and also teach your AI, small AI helpers for pathologists or medical research. An example, those spots are breast cancer diagnostic, and basically there the pathologist is estimating how many brown nucleus there are and how many blue nucleus there are. And based on that analysis, the estrogen treatment is decided that is it needed after breast cancer surgery. And currently it's estimation, manual job by pathologist. And basically our software does, and we have basically trained the neural network. You can see the result of the neural network analysis top of the original images. And basically our roads are the cancer regions of the tissue, so cancer areas, tumor areas typically. And there it's counting the positive and negative cells, basically giving exact information, not estimation, that how many positive there are or how many negative there are. And based on those percentages, the pathologist could decide that much more accurately the medical treatment. And it's not just a breast cancer, basically any type of cancer, lung cancer, testicle cancer, also medical research. So maybe example here, this is for Alzheimer, Parkinson disease studies or medical. So these are rat brains, and basically in here they are counting the neural bodies or neural cells. And in here basically they are destroying part of the rat brain and injecting healing medicine and check that does it heal the neural cells. And currently this is done manually. It takes 45 minutes to even a couple of hours to count those manually, and we can do it in under a minute. So, and one type of application is also a needle of the haystack application. That you can see that this gray box, if I zoom in, that's your mobile phone image or camera image. That's 60 megapixels, and you can see that this is 300,000 pixels, 100,000 pixels, and the job is to find 10 pixel wide target. That basically is same job that it's 1 kilometer tall skyscraper and try to find 1 centimeter target with telescope. And if I zoom in, it shows the heat map where the potential targets are. And somebody may recognize what the target is here. So those are the forensic tests. So not just the cancer research or cancer diagnostic, but anything that you can use microscopic currently. And most of them are currently done by manual work. And this will enable much more research, better diagnostics, and things that really cannot be done currently. And somebody is saying that how do you train your neural network? So we have integrated also the training environment. So you need the ground truth for the neural network. And basically what is that the ground truth is basically you label, annotate. You can see that I basically labeled this red area as a tissue. And I just trained with couple of labels. Somebody's talking that you need tens of thousands or 100,000 of labels, and that depends on your problem, but it's not currently. So you can see the top of the ground truth, what the deep learning or neural network has learned. So this area is what the neural network thinks is the tissue, and these basically solid lines are the annotation or markings. So ground truth for the neural network. So in this project there's a couple of labels and it learns the tissue area for the background. So I can show the live demos a little bit later if somebody is interested, how you can do image analysis, how you train it in the next times. And small thing about the company. So we are spin-off from the University of Helsinki. We are now 3 years old spin-off company, and I'm the CTO, I'm the tech guy here. So I'm been basically studying the next building here, the self-driving robots, autonomous vehicles, and basically all my working career being the tech side. How do you analyze images? How do you model and control systems? And this is the vision system and using for medical research or diagnostic. Is the 9 minutes over? Nearly.
Quite amazing. Any questions from the audience? I think this is breathtaking for us who are getting older and older in this country. Any questions, please? I have a question. Where are you heading to? What is your dream or vision where you will go with this solution and service and product?
Basically, we just announced the A round in the slush, and purpose of that is to, of course, conquering the world with our software. Currently, the market is open because nobody's basically doing AI analysis for pathologist research or medical research or medical diagnostics. And we were the first company in the world that had working product in March.
Amazing. Hey, let's do so that Ari, you can start to sweep the PC there, and we can have a little discussion here. Would you come closer, and I can pass the microphone you to the, or if you scream up the question, I'll repeat it here.
So did you train your neural net
We have been using that transfer learning also, and depends of the problem. It helps a little bit if you have a few annotations, but if you have large set of annotation, because our domain that we have usually large set of images, and our image size is huge, so we don't have a problem of few not labeled data.
So what is large data for you?
The question was, what is large data for you?
Our biggest image is 120 terabytes unpacked. That's a demo image.
How many images?
One slide, one sample.
One sample.
Yeah. So one breast cancer sample is typically unpacked 20 gigabytes to 100 gigabytes. So one of our samples of human tissue or animal tissue is basically 10,000 or 100,000 mobile phone size images.
So what do differently? Because typically for training neural network or doing image recognition, you will need tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions.
So the question from the audience was that what do you do differently compared to other companies if you're not training tens of
Our
thousands of
knowledge.
times?
So we have actual knowledge what can be done with neural networks. Simply, it depends of the problem, how difficult is the classification task or regression task. And in our domain, we don't need to recognize human for any other basically 3D environment. So we have flat surfaces basically, and then helps a little bit with the annotations or size of the labeled data that is needed. If you think about the self-driving car, it needs to recognize in 3D environment. And neural networks, or traditional neural networks, are not designed for 3D environment. So every viewpoint of human is different, basically classification of human. There's a couple of new neural network architectures that can with help with the 3D environment.
All right, thank you, Tuomas. And the demo stand will be somewhere where people are eating. And so Tuomas is not disappearing anywhere. So let's have further good questions on this really fascinating area. And congratulations, I saw what happened in Slush, so I can share the story a bit later. So a reminder, hashtag AI Monday. We will start to follow that right now. And the next speaker is Ari Lampela. Ari is the Google Finland country manager for the cloud services. And a quick testing question here of the audience: which of you have been visiting Google's headquarters in Silicon Valley? Not too many hands. It's an amazing place. If you ever had the possibility to go there, that's where tomorrow future is being planned. So 9 minutes, Ari, all yours.
Cool, 9 minutes. All right, usually when we talk about AI and machine learning, we start to talk about these Star Trek things, and obviously the previous presentation was amazing. But I wanted to start with Voice-to-Text, because again, this is a presentation for ideas that when we start to change the UI that we are using into something totally different, new services, new capabilities are endless for possibilities. And now I need to do something that usually when you have a demo, people then ask that eihän se kuitenkaan suomea ymmärrä, koska se on niin vaikea kieli ja toimii vain pienillä kielialueilla. Mutta ajatus siitä, että me voitaisiin tehdäkin vaikkapa vanhusväestölle aivan erilaisia äänipohjaisia palveluita, on aivan uskomaton mahdollisuus meille.
That screen is not following your speed.
Actually, it uses neural networks and it thinks of the context. Okay, now, and works accordingly. So it's not word to word, but it tries to understand what I was saying, and I think that's rather cool. Oh, it didn't follow that. Sorry. I need more 9 minutes. You could see that it actually understands Finnish, but you should always check your screen. Sorry for that. Demo failed. Otetaan uudestaan. Kirjoitapa siihen vähän suomen kieltä kanssa. Eli tämä ymmärtää myös suomea ihan samalla tavalla. Vanhustenhuoltoon esimerkiksi voisi olla aivan mahtava mahdollisuus, että se kirjoittaisi sen suomeksi, tai sille voisi puhua sen sijaan, että vanhuksen kädet tärisee ja niin edelleen. Ja. So, a failed demo. But the point was that when we're talking about AI and machine learning, moreover, it's really about how do we think about new capabilities for our company as a services, and that comes to the point where's the competitive advantage for a company. It used to be the size. You know, in the old time, it was about size. Who's the biggest? Who has to be more of the people, more of the money, and the entry barrier to market was high. Now it's about who is the fastest, who is really the most capable for change, and that's where we are competing. Now, here's Stan Sergey Brin, who's one of our founders, brought that to the main campus, and with the point that, you know, don't become a dino. So we have our own dino, and although Google is 100 billion, 20+% growth for year on year still, the question that our management and obviously everybody in the company wants to thrive for is, you know, how do we keep ourselves capable for change? And it comes to technology and culture. And obviously today we are talking about the technology, what AI really can do, what's machine learning. But there's the point that you need to choose technologies where really enable you to do fail-fast thinking. So don't think that you have one great idea and that's it. Think about how do you get all the ideas that you have to be tested. So if you can prototype, test fast ideas, then it's most probable that you will, you know, actually find good ideas. If you think that the CTO office will come with the best ideas, then most likely you will only have few of the ideas and those will most likely fail. And in this context, what we believe at Google is this is a sort of ecosystemic competition that we have. It's not about, you know, who has the best feature and function for a product. It's about how do we really keep up the innovation curve in the industry, and that's what we are really looking for. And on that perspective, we really thrive our stuff to be open source based. So if you think about Hadoop or Kubernetes or things like that, they are Google driven technologies, and we believe in this thing that open source is the base, it's the platform for innovation. And now that we are talking about machine learning, obviously TensorFlow, Google Brain project that was open sourced as a TensorFlow is the platform that Google is really building as an ecosystemic thing. So there's a friction, there's a competition in that. We have open sourced TensorFlow, so it is currently the most active and utilized project in GitHub. But then again, we are providing services that are based on TensorFlow that you can just utilize through APIs, and I'm going to show a few of examples of those. But on the other hand, we also provide a platform as a service platform to train your own TensorFlow models, and then obviously run those. But the thing is that we are not only doing software, we are also designing and innovating on the hardware side. So here is our second generation of TPU, which with a constellation of 256 chips provides a 11.5 petaflops of computing power. So we are thriving to have the price point so low that actually anybody can try to start to utilize tensor processing units, because we see that developing your own models is highly compute intensive model. Now, once you are in this space that you have these models, then obviously we also want to innovate differently in a way that you can have crowdsourcing for your problems. So Kaggle is a platform where you can host competitions for yourself to have 1 million+ experts building a model for you based on your data. And again, it changes totally the aspect. What I'm really super excited is the thing that we started at Turku with Rolls-Royce Marine. So Rolls-Royce is building their own autonomous ships with their innovation hub at Turku. And here again, they are building this on TensorFlow, and really they are transforming industry, a 340 billion cargo industry with fully autonomous vessels. And there again, costs, security or safety, cargo loads, optimization, things like that will come through when you have a fully autonomous value chain created. And it's amazing thing that this kind of development is being done in Turku in Finland. Here's a couple of examples of a Vision API based services. Again, 90% of the world's information is non-structured. So when we start to understand what we are seeing, and again, everybody has a mobile device that's capable of doing this, the use cases start to be really interesting. This is a customer and a partner of ours, a German company called Niris, that actually has done a real production services on these. So you can actually find products, you can identify products, do price comparisons, things like that. And moreover, you know, how do you compete the brick and mortar against digital world in retail? They have done a 3-second checkout function. So if you think about having this one click in Amazon, how do you do the same in the shop? And this is a brilliant example of that. So identify the product, and obviously it's integrated with everything that they have on pricing information, billing information, and then just use your fingerprint, and then it's done. How do you do things in a simple manner? Or for example, here is a project done for Daimler to integrate with maintenance data, for example. So you can have a lorry there, and then the driver needs to check things, and you get the compliance information and so forth. Or take that idea a bit further. If you are a maintenance person and you need to have more information of a specific spare part, for example, you can do that. So again, having your personal assistant going forward is pretty amazing, and again, simplifies complicated stuff. We can do the same stuff also for live video feeds. So think about having an automated video compiling tool, which leads obviously to point where you can have your own personalized channel that is location and preference sensitive for you. So you get the information that you really want to have for yourself. A couple of Finnish examples. So obviously, the failed demo with speech to text, we are actually doing with a couple of healthcare companies around this, really to automate and get more efficiencies on creating documentation. Or another startup example of Vainu, which is searching throughout the web for open databases for a company-specific information, and they are using our natural language processing API to actually understand what are the company names and entities and so forth. So again, using those complicated manual hard things into doing those through automation, and then you can start to do different things pretty fast. My closing slide here is the thing for the Finnish audience. We're gonna launch Hamina, that has been our internal data center in end of first quarter for GCP. So we will have a public cloud that is actually local. So you have 3 availability zones in Hamina, so you can have your data located in Finland if you want to. And this is rather unique in the market. But again, public cloud combining with the local data location if required. So that's my failed demo presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Mary, if you move yourself here and log to the system, and Tuomas, can you give the microphone to Mary, so we'll switch. So let's continue for 1 minute, Ari here, and let Mary kind of set up there in the background. There was this term Kaggle, so a unit of Google So how does it work?
So Kaggle is a platform for competitions. So what you basically do is you post a data challenge for the community, and then people can join to solve that problem. And obviously, in order to inspire people to join to do that, there's a prize for it. And the prizes vary from 5,000 to 5 million range. So if you want to have, again, like I said, there's 1 million people in the Kaggle ecosystem. So if you want to have somebody to solve a extremely complicated machine learning algorithm question, you can post that for them, and then you choose your winner there, and through giving the prize out, then you actually get to own the IP for that. So the idea is that you crowdsource a problem, and you get the best of the best to people to solve it. Instead of buying that from a consultancy for maybe several years, you get to have a crowdsourced solution.
Outstanding. Let's take one more question. Anybody from the audience? Question to Arjan or Google. There we go. From Tekniikka Talous, Tero, please.
Yes, so Tero Lehto, Tekniikka Talous. I would like to ask, you showed that little example of that voice to text with Finnish language. So how do you see, when is this, in a way, are we going to reach the level of voice to text with the English language, or are we still going to, in a way, lag behind with such a small language area such as Finnish language?
I think it's actually surprisingly good in Finnish language currently. Translation from language, A to Finnish language is not something that you would use for, definitely not for journalist purposes. But I think from point of speech to text in Finnish language, it's pretty good. And thus I'm sad that I actually failed on the demo, showing you the wrong screen that I had. But I would argue that it's really good, and it's easy to try out. If you have a Gmail address, just go to Drive, open a new doc, and select language and try it out. I think it's amazing.
Thank you, Ari, and we will ask a bit more questions you in after Mary's presentation. Mary, are you ready? Is your microphone working? So next person on the stage here is Mary Haataja. You are a director in Osuuspankki in the finance area, and let's see what your 9 minutes will bring us, and we will have then tough questions to both of you after that. Welcome, Mary.
Thank you very much. Does the mic work? It's not work. I can take that one if that's fine. It's easier.
A quick comment of Ari's presentation. I was at Google in mid-September, just a couple of months ago, and one area we were giving a demonstration of phrases. So there was an area where they had 500 phrases up till some months ago, and now the voice recognition library recognizes 5,000, so tenfold time of those phrases. My bank account doesn't work. What do I do? So we are soon in the point where I can give a call to a call center without realizing that it's not a human being I'm talking with. But hey, Mary, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm excited to be here. We met with Petri last week in Slush, and I was really busy in our stand, like presenting our, demoing our smart cast for Pohjola Hospital, and it was the best moment to ask anything from me. So I said immediately, yes, I will come here. But I'm really excited to be grateful for the opportunity. I've been thinking about AI whole weekend and the last weeks and months a lot, and I think like every day I'm getting more excited about this theme, and also at the same time a little bit more and more worried also, thinking about the organizations in Finland and overall our future on this, and how do we take the opportunity. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about this today here. Does it work? So for the last 1.5 years, I've been leading AI strategy in OP, I have one old colleagues here as well. So nice to see you. Yeah, we have been running really fast during the last year. We have a new strategy where AI is high on agenda. So that's my role, and we are calling it financial intelligence. It's finanssiäly in Finnish, and basically it's almost synonym for AI, but the difference is like coming from our cooperative roots. Customer centricity is that's the reason for us to live to benefit our customers. So we try to always keep the customer perspective in the utilization of AI as well. So in practice, it means we are asking ourselves questions like, how does it benefit our customer? How does the customer see the AI thingy when we take it into use, and how much does he actually or she value the work that we are doing there? So it's about applying AI from that perspective. I took this slide. This is actually might look familiar for Ari, because it's actually invented by Google CEO Sundar Pichai last year. In his talk, he invented this, or said this AI first idea, and I think that's really good and describes also how we are approaching this whole domain, going from the situation where we have been focusing a lot on taking the customer interactions from one channel to another, and now focusing on how do we make all these interactions more beneficial, more valuable for the customers. I think that's the AI first. It might be that it's like actually thinking about the UI perspective here when Sundar Pichai launched the idea, but I think that overall this for us, it's about the whole focus of the digital development. We need to think how do we apply AI in order to make the services more valuable. I took one good description of what is happening here from New York Times a few days ago, this article on how this AI will transform our economy, and I think the key here is, it was discussed a lot in the previous presentations as well, but it will probably do more than we think in more places than we think, and it will evolve faster than powerful technologies in the past, and that's due to this learning capability of AI, and that's the thing or the reason I think we all should have our eyes and ears open, and really today, not next year. And this takes me into how I see, like I've been working with these themes something like 17 years, whole my career. Basically, I started as data analyst, and if I look back like few years earlier and how we have approached this thing, it's like moving from taking or looking at your industry and thinking, okay, these are the use cases, this marketing automation or sales forecasting or different use cases, and taking those into use, moving from there into this situation that basically it disrupts the way that we are doing our processes, and essentially the most important part here that was like mentioned by Ari as well, it's a totally new form for innovation. It's like lenses that you should apply and see the opportunities, see the possibilities to apply and people's well-being. So that's pretty radical, and it's the reason why many are calling AI and technologies as like industrial, because basically you can look any financial services company process and see that optimization, and that's what everyone is talking about. We have of the automation that is happening in the industry. Also, new jobs will be created, but every company is working on that. How do we basically automate the decisions? How do we make decisions like immediately, 24/7, whenever our clients